Today, I'm going to show you how to build a complete brand system using ChatGPT and Figma's newest AI capabilities. We will create the strategy, logo, the visual identity, a landing page, and the brand identity. This is the workflow that I personally use for client projects that range up to about 5 to 10K. Without further ado, we will first use ChatGPT to build a strategy. In our case, I'm going to use a dummy brand, but in your case, in a real scenario, you might have the brand brief ready to go. Maybe the logo is even ready. In our case, I'm going to go from a blank page, a blank canvas, and we're going to work with the dummy brand. So I prepared a quick prompt, and the brand that I chose is going to be called Flow State. And let me bring up the prompt. Let me paste it here. So generate a comprehensive brand strategy for Flow State, which is an AI-powered productivity platform for remote teams. So we need market analysis, brand positioning, target audience analysis, the brand personality, what the messaging is, and some sort of visual direction. Provide strategic depth that justifies premium pricing and positions. Flow State and positions Flow State as the intelligent choice for sophisticated remote teams. A pretty standard prompt. It's going to give us a good result. Let's hit enter. So here's a comprehensive brand strategy. Saturated market. Notion is a competitor. Overwhelmed from choice overload. Rise of async collaboration. Flow State helps remote teams reclaim mental clarity and deep focus by intelligently structuring their day-to-day work through adaptive AI. Sounds cool. Premium pricing, target audience, age 25-45, makes sense. Intelligent, empathetic, minimal, trusted. I feel like it's a very nice brand brief. Let me review other key areas. Industry differentiation, color psychology, deep blue. I feel like deep blue is going to be a good primary color, or my main color. Sure, why not? For managers, primary brand message, clarity, flow, output. Flow State helps remote teams do their best work. This is good. This is good. So since we have the brand brief ready to go and to be utilized, let's open up a new chat and let's see if we can basically craft some logo ideas for this brand. As I said again, in your case, maybe you have the logo ready to go and there's just a need for a landing page, for example, or for a quick refresh on the brand identity. But let's go ahead and imagine that they have nothing. The client has nothing. They want everything done and in a short amount of time. So I'm going to design first using a fresh ChatGPT, or maybe in our case, since we have the brand strategy here, I'm going to paste it here. Create a comprehensive logo design for Flow State based on our brand strategy, which is basically the one above. And should we actually keep those? Logo concept directions, style preferences. Yeah, sure. It's whatever. Maybe they can combine the data. I was just preparing the prompts before recording. But yeah, I feel like it's a good prompt. Let's hit it. Logo design briefs. Let's see, brand personality, visual direction. Flat vector design, geometric but human-friendly. Modular system, can adapt to dark and light. This is basically the flat vector aspect of it. Color psychology, deep blue. Soft teals, color neutral grays. Avoid neons. Yep. Typography, sans serif. Yep, we need a modern font. Usage applications, logo concept directions. All designs must feel cohesive. Awesome. So I feel like this is a nice prompt to grab in order to basically start our logo design process here. Let's keep this. Amazing. So this is basically the brief that we want to add to a new chat, just to have an idea of what needs to be built. To refine the brief, it's okay. let's say something like adopt this brief and provide or maybe let's stick to adopt the brief. Here we are. And then I'm gonna use the prompts that I prepared to test some logo out. Nice, the memory has been updated. So I wanted to test a word mark option first because it makes sense. Create a professional word mark logo, technical specs. I'm sure that the memory has also been adopted, so we won't have a problem. Let's hit create image, send, and let's give it a couple of seconds and see what the generation is gonna be. I actually like this word mark a lot. I know it looks very generic, but I kind of like this sans serif style. It's very blocky, sharp. I am a fan of it. Honestly, I'm a fan of it. I want to see if I can also generate some sort of symbol and text combination here in the same chat, since we have such a nice word mark created already. So I'm going with a similar prompt, but I'm starting with create a logo, combining a geometric symbol with flow state text based on the same design brief. So I'm going to hit enter and give it a couple of seconds and see if we're going to have a nice first attempt to a cool logo idea. Let's see. I'm actually impressed with the logo because I can see the letter F. I can see the idea of like nodes connecting and also some sort of leaf that like kind of signifies growth. So I'm not really mad at it. I feel like an experienced designer can take that, trace it out, and make it even better. So in our certain and specific situation, I feel like this is a good logo. So I'm impressed. I'm actually very satisfied. In an actual real life scenario, if this was an actual client, I would definitely present 3 more options and refine this. But as it's just like a straight up first prompt, this is a very nice basis to work on. I can also create an abstract version of it. I mean, it's already abstract, but let's see if we can only focus on the logo and maybe create something more unique than that. I will also test it out in a separate chat afterwards, just to see if the difference is going to be like vast in terms of creativity. Let's hit enter and give it a few seconds to see if it can design a different monogram idea. I feel like there is potential even in this one as a logo. Of course, it needs some fixing, but I feel like if you, let's grab some colors. I feel like if you just stick to this part of the logo and basically create some sort of symbolism here, this can make some sort of sense as a logo if you fix it a bit. But in our scenario, I will go with the first option. I feel like it's a nice basis that we can refine a little bit before we move. But since we have a nice foundation here and a very nice understanding, I will continue with a very cool part of the process. Since Figma's AI capabilities, and especially the tool Figma Make, only accepts images as attachments, I think it's a good idea to utilize ChatGPT's image generation and create a couple of mood boards that we can use and attach inside the chat that Figma AI has whenever we create the landing page, the brand identity, etc. And it's also going to give us a nice visual, very, very fast, of how this brand can actually look, if we are liking it, if we are opposed to it, etc., etc. So the prompt that I'm going to use is the following. Create a professional brand mood board for flow state. Visual elements to include modern remote work environments, a clean minimalist design aesthetic, professional color palette, typography, geometry patterns, technology imagery, professional, trustworthy, innovative atmosphere. So I'm hoping to basically give us some sort of like a Pinterest mood board that we can get inspiration from. I was hoping for a more concise and actually clean approach, but I feel like it got very influenced by the latest logo. It's not a big deal. I would just open up a new chat and try the same exact prompt. And I will just grab the logo that we liked as a reference if they want to use it. It wants to use it. So let's see if it's going to be a better result in a clean chat. I realized that I use a different prompts instead of using the mood board one. So it just provided me with the text that just has the image that has just text on it. That's crazy. That was my bad. Let's go back here, open up a new chat. I'm just wasting credits at this point. I'm joking. So let's see. What's the prompt that I need? The mood board one. I'm sorry for that. Now we're good. And I was like, why is it generating text? What's going on? So weird. Anyways, we're back in the game. That's a pretty funny mood board, I would say. Look, I can see some sort of pattern. I can see a good color palette that works. Am I impressed? Not really, but I feel like, I don't know, should I just try and maybe improve this prompt and see if we can have something better maybe? Let's see. Improve the above prompt to in order to achieve better image generation results with ChatGPT. I just want to see if I'm like missing something with the prompt. I want to see an optimized one as well. I'm like a bit stubborn now. So I'm gonna grab this and put it in a new chat, an unbiased one. And I want to see if I can have a better mood board that I can showcase to Figma. As I said before, this is a real time experiment. I'm not really testing every part of the workflow all the time because I'm constantly working on it. I'm constantly refining it. So it's interesting to see what the pain points are and fix them live, basically, or find ways to avoid them as well. Let's give it a few seconds and see what the generation is going to be. I'm hoping that it's going to be a way better one, actually. I feel like the UI aspect of it and the imagery is way more precise because I see an async working environment, a work from home environment. I'm seeing the same colors, just presented in a more elegant way, I would say. This is a better mood board for me. But I also want to test out some other stuff since this is a good foundation. Over here in our, let me find the initial prompt that I refined. And I will say something like focus on patterns, design, UI design elements, and color palette. Let's make it more specific and leave the imagery behind because it doesn't really help that much. It doesn't really showcase any aspect of the digital identity, at least. So do not include flow lines, UI design elements. Yep, this is good. I'm actually gonna try it in a completely new one again, just to have a clean result. I want to test prompts basically and see what works better. Yes, this is very pretty and a way better mood board inspiration. This is what we're gonna keep for sure. So I feel like the test was definitely worth it. Now you know you can always refine the prompts and ask for more specific details, remove stuff. And yeah, you have a very clean mood board, I would say. So I love it. I feel like we have a good word mark. We have a good simple, which in a real life scenario, somebody would refine even more and have a professional logo done. And we have a mood board ready to go with our color palette and everything. So we're at a very, very good stage. Now, I feel like we can also dive deeper and maybe use this as a foundation for our chat and image generation for the mood board, and maybe even specify something like this as a prompt. I was doing this off camera. Create a UI UX design mood board for a modern productivity platform website. Website layouts, landing page examples. I'm not sure if this is a lot. So maybe we can take some stuff out and see if that works. I'm not sure. I'm just doing an experiment now. I would say that let's remove this, for example. Let's remove the typography. Maybe we can stick to the landing page example since we have the color ones. I feel like we can stick to the professional landing page example. Yeah, let's see if that works. Let's see if we can even have a visual reference to help Figma create something that's more high fidelity, maybe. I'm just intrigued now. I don't know. It's a Sunday. I'm having fun. Nope, I'm not impressed. So I'm just gonna stick to the initial mood board. And without further ado, let's go ahead to Figma and basically go and where is it? All projects, AI projects. Amazing. Create with Make, with Figma Make. And what I want to do now is to basically go here and grab this as a visual reference and also go back to the logo and grab it as a visual reference as well. Now, I prepared a prompt for Figma Make. I did some research to see what would work well. And what we can also do is basically, but I feel like no, it's gonna be good. Or maybe I can do it. Sorry for for thinking out loud. What I'm talking about is I can go back to the initial brand brief that we generated, brand strategy, and say, this is a prompt that I want to use inside Figma's new AI tool called Figma Make to generate a landing page for the brand. Please refine the logo and update areas where necessary with the new updated brand strategy brief that you provided above, just to get a refinement of our prompt with like more correct copy, more correct details, etc., etc. So create a complete high conversion landing page for FlowState, an AI-powered productivity platform, page structures, key benefits, social proof, pricing, and a final CVA, and of course a footer. Minimalist geometric premium, deep blue, soft aqua. We also have the visual references and generate a full desktop and mobile landing page layout. Yep, this sounds like a very solid prompt that we can use. Let's clean up these. Awesome. And also let's clean up the intro as well. Let's hit enter. I'm actually very, very excited to see what the output is going to be here. Come on, Figma. Nice. Let's give it a couple of seconds. There we are. Here's the landing page for FlowState. And as you can see, with a single prompt, we got an actually very well refined page, in my opinion. We're missing a couple of sections, some logos, but of course, it's a dummy brand. Even the pricing plan looks very clean. This looks kind of unnecessary. This can be better, I guess. I love how the footer looks. It's very professional. I'm actually very impressed. But to be honest, I'm seeing a very saturated version of the color palette that I actually wanted. And I'm not a really big fan of gradients. Other than that, I would also fix this, I would remove those weird stuff, but I like the dashboard UI kind of element. I would also improve how big the buttons look in terms of their design system because they look very thin and small. I would also remove this, and I also want to improve this part. So I'm basically gonna do that for the next couple of minutes. I'm gonna use basically natural language to achieve that. So let's start from top to bottom, basically, with the button idea first. And let's say something like let's refine the button system and introduce buttons that do not have a gradient fill, but a solid color one. And also they are larger in size, at least I would say 1.2 times. They also have slightly higher padding on all sides. I don't know, 4 to 8% increase. Is that a lot? I have no idea. I suck at math. No, not question marks. Yeah, regarding the button, what else? I feel like this is good. Apply all necessary changes correctly to all button variants. I think this is a good natural language prompt that it will guide our AI well. Let's see. That is what I'm talking about. The buttons are definitely improved since the last version, the initial one. Yeah, I'm actually a fan. I wouldn't change anything. I love those buttons. I love the hover over effects. Maybe this is a very subtle one or doesn't exist at all, but this is a minor change. So I generally don't really like gradients, especially in those very corporate brands, I would say. So the general rule that I want to add, since we're going top to bottom, is to basically remove all gradients. Remove all gradients from fills and stick to solid colors from our palette. Ensure that contrast ratios are always positive between, let's say, background and foreground elements. This can probably fix all of the gradients that I see and I'm not a fan of. I'm sorry. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Again, I'm just showcasing how easy it is to just use natural language, and especially if you have knowledge in UI and UX, you can express yourself more clearly and distinctively, and the results and the edits are actually very, very efficient. That's amazing. I feel like the color changes are very nice, cohesive. I'm not seeing any actual contrast, at least with the natural eye, contrast differences. I will allow the gradient on the last section. I feel like Figma has some pushbacks. It's whatever though. Even here, it hasn't changed. But these are minor fixes we can do. Let's fix the hero section, for example, and see if we can remove the floating ellipses that are animated and are on top of the UI model on the right. Because they look ugly. I don't like them. Amazing, the animated thingies are off. This is incredible. I feel like we can also fix this model since I saw this live thing being weird. Let's say something like, oh, maybe we can also use this on the spot. Oh, that's fun. That's actually exciting. You can also space it out differently, change padding on the spot, change its corner radius, grab the code. This is actually sick. Awesome, good to know. So let's ask for just a slight refinement. Slightly refine the UI model and make sure that all elements are aligned. properly. Perfect, we fixed a small UI model here and the error with the alignment. I can give some time and improve the look on the testimonials as well. But if it was an actual client, I would do that, but it's okay for now. We can maybe see if we can improve the footer a bit and maybe make it less cramped and also improve the fact that the gradient exists still there. So refine the footer for a more modular approach. I want to see some sort of more like condensed footer. It will be fun. It's a more modern style as well. Make sure that there are no gradient fills. Make it feel less cramped with info and copy and sub pages. Limit to only important sub pages since it's a demo. And yeah, let's give it a shot. Nice, great visual update. It didn't really give a fuck about the modular design of things, but I want to test it out. I want to actually have a more floating kind of navbar and footer. So I'm just gonna click on the header for now, or navbar, whatever, and say something like, I want the header slash navbar to have a more floating slash modular feeling and not take up full width. Nice. Refine the UI of the header. Refine it how though? According to the command that I gave you, dude. I'm tripping out. It's been a few minutes now. Yeah, I guess that's gonna work. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not really sure if modular is the right word, but compact maybe. I don't know. Help me out in the comments. But I feel like it's gonna work. Yep, I can see the floating aspect. We can also maybe add some sort of a more slightly transparent background and also remove the background from here. So if I click edit, I will probably be able to make it white. That's sick. And focus on that again and say something like, make the opacity of the background fill to, maybe instead of make, say turn to, let's say, I don't know, 84%, and also add some sort of frosted background effect to limit the visibility of elements below the less solid header background. I can definitely see the frosted glass aesthetic, but I feel like we can lower the opacity even more actually. Can I do that from here? Oh, I destroyed it. Okay. Wait. Let me see. I might have messed it up by myself. So that's good. Okay. And the frosted effect exists. Nice. So let's pick the header again. Let's go with 64%. From 86 to 64, that's a kind of a big jump, I would say. Let's go to 74%. Nice. I like some sort of a subtle stroke as well. Add a very subtle stroke. Come on, man. Subtle stroke to the header in order to emphasize the floating effect just a little bit more. Nice. I like the subtle outline as well. So without further ado, let's apply the same principle for our footer as well. Let's apply the same modular floating effect to our footer as well, while maintaining the design aesthetic, the current design aesthetic. Now, there are some things that we need to change for sure. I don't really want to see this here, so let's remove stay in the loop. Let's do a couple of fixes. I want to see if a floating footer would work as well. I don't know why I'm so consumed by that idea, but I like it. And I also have a better idea for this gradient as well that can really elevate our footer also. So I was off camera because I thought I was recording. What I did was I manually changed the padding for our footer a bit just to keep it more compact. And I also wanted to test an idea where this gradient would start from the bottom and basically fade out somewhere there so that we can have a more soft background effect that's non-obstructive. So this is what I basically typed here. I wasn't recording, my bad, because I had it on pause, but that's pretty much it. So what we expect here is to basically see the gradient start from here and end somewhere there and overall have a more soft background effect instead of this very, very solid in your face block, basically. For some weird reason, Figma didn't really understand that I wanted to change this. I'm not sure if I highlighted the wrong section, but it changed the color here. So I'm now refining it basically so that the changes can happen in the upper section and not in the footer. So I'll be back in a few seconds when this is refined, basically. To be honest, the background fill across the whole page doesn't really work, but the idea is here. I feel like it's either me not really communicating it properly, or maybe I can also remove the opacity from all the frames. Yep, that was the issue. So the background fill was applied properly. It just happened that every other section had their own solid background. So if you turn the opacity to 0, the effect will actually pop up, which is awesome. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. And it looks super nice. I'm very impressed. Also, I decided to change the header and match the style that our footer has, just to be more concise, and I feel like it looks awesome. So as a final change, I would only stick to changing this and refining it more, and then we will just head to the next steps. So let's type something like, please define the UI for this section, make it more prominent and actually purposeful. That's actually fun, although it's a lot of free will, but I was also kind of vague. So instead of like actually sticking to the initial section, he decided to generate a new one which is called platform features. I'm actually not mad at it because I feel like it's a nice addition and breaks the white background suddenly. So it's nice visually, I believe. I would probably give it slightly less padding at the bottom just to bring the other section closer. So I would aim for something like even 34, I would say. Yeah, 100%. And I would give a little bit of padding here, actually, from the top side. Oh, it takes everything. It's okay. Let's see if I can maybe space them out a bit. Probably not. It's okay. Actually, it's okay. I'm not mad at it. Awesome. I'm very satisfied with how it looks. I have to be honest. I can definitely dive deeper and do more refinement, but As you can see, I'm showcasing very simple changes using natural language, and the results are actually very, very impressive. So what I want to do now is to basically create a sub-page inside this demo that you can showcase to the client where the brand identity would exist. I prepared a prompt for that, which is the following. But as before, I want to bring back this and basically do the same for this prompt to basically refine it and add all the correct copy and the correct updated copy as we did before. So here's the refined prompt. Amazing. So here's the refined prompt. Create a comprehensive brand identity page for flow state that showcases our complete brand system. And I would say include it as a sub page in our landing, in our basically website, brand overview, and we have logo system, color palette display, typography, brand applications. I would say brand applications, definitely remove the business card, definitely remove the website headers. I would say let's stick to maybe nothing of those. I would say fuck it. And let's make this number 5, brand voice and guidelines, do's and don'ts. Awesome. I feel like this is gonna be a good prompt. And let's also maybe add at the top, include it on our header as well as a sub page. Let's hit enter, and I'm very excited to see what the outcome is gonna be. Here's our simple brand identity page inside the landing page. Flow state brand guidelines. Here's an overview with our signature now, dark frame. Our logo system, which of course you can then, after you're done with the Figma Make website, you can grab the code, add your own actual logo, and refine it to your liking. Our color palette is there. Our typography system is there. Brand voice, key messages. Of course, you can do a ton of refinement here. For example, you can add an option to be able to download the font or maybe improve the key messages in terms of the aesthetics, etc., etc. But the actual thing is that you already have a very laid out foundation that you can actually refine and work on even more, even inside Figma. So I feel like this is very powerful. As a last step, let's say that you have refined this, it's always important to make everything feel responsive. And I was checking out how responsive it is, and I'm actually impressed because the majority of the pages look good, but some sections like the pricing kind of gets fucked, the features are getting fucked, but apart from that, everything else looks kind of good. I feel like the footer is a bit long. So as a last step, I would like to basically ask Figma to evaluate and examine our, let's say, UI components and ensure responsive elements to all screen sizes. Let's say desktop, let's say tablet, and let's say mobile. I feel like this can give it a boost and adjust a couple of sections that were way off, way off. Let's see, let's give it a couple of seconds. And we basically have a landing page that's very well refined. And then you have a working brand identity that exists inside the landing page that you can also refine and make it even more related to the brand or whatever your goal is. So I feel like this is a very, very exciting workflow and way to showcase a brand to a client than just sending out PDFs and logos and iterations and stuff. It's a very dynamic and hands-on approach, and I'm a huge fan of it, actually. I feel like AI and Figma did a great job at adjusting our components here. Yeah, this is amazing. Let's see if we can test some sort of a more max screen. Yep, it looks cool. Let's imitate something like a tablet, I would say. Yeah, I'm actually super impressed. So yeah, this ChatGPT and Figma Make workflow basically shows you how AI can enhance your professional design services when you use it in a very strategic way. In my opinion, this is basically a more enhanced blank canvas that you can get your hands dirty immediately right after a website, a client branding brief, or some sort of inspiration session that you had. And you can quickly iterate on ideas without you having to look for hours for inspiration, then open up a blank Figma page and start designing or mimicking or copying something manually. You now have a very unique, at least after a couple of refinements, landing page that you can work on, get your hands dirty after some inspiration involved. So I feel like it's a more flexible model and workflow that you can combine with your traditional, very robust techniques. So if you want to learn how to integrate AI into your design workflow and scale your services, please book a discovery call below. I am connecting with designers who want to step up their game and fully utilize AI to enhance their skills and their careers. My goal is to basically connect with like-minded designers, learn what your problems are, and try my best to build the best workflows possible in order to alleviate any blockers and basically make it to the top together. So see you soon and see you in the next one as well.